I'm thanking, and the groups that went with him also. You know, this time we went with a big turnout, and honestly, it was honestly good. Everybody was happy. The president, even the president, he was very happy. He was happy. You can see it. You know, there are a lot of new discoveries that were made during this last tour, and I think it's a successful tour. Yeah, sure.
Well, any last word?
The last word is to tell Gambians to heed to the message of His Excellency the President. He's somebody. He's not saying or talking about himself. He's talking about all of us. So we should give him that support. Both of us knew very well that the president can feed himself. What he's paid, he can feed himself. What he's having, he can do it for himself. He's not selfish. He wants to share and care the people that he is leading. So, of course, yes, Gambians and non-Gambians alike who are living in this country, yeah, let them pay heed to his messages of grow what you eat and eat what you grow.
APRC National Mobilizer Yankuba Koli on his last word to Gambians at the end of the 3 weeks President Jammeh's Dialogue with the People tour. The Central Bank of the Gambia, acting on the Section 45 of the Banking Act 2009, took over Access Bank Gambia Limited with effect from May 5, 2014. The primary reason for the takeover was the impairment of the bank's capital below the minimum requirement of $200 million. Following the takeover, the investors of Access Bank Gambia Limited injected capital of $15.2 million, approximately $600 million, to recapitalize the bank and made a commitment to inject an additional $4.8 million, approximately $189 million. Consequently, the Central Bank of the Gambia, acting under Section 48 2G of the Banking Act 2009, has decided to return Access Bank Gambia Limited to their owners with effect from Monday 12, 2014. The Central Bank of the Gambia will continue to ensure that banks in the Gambia operate in a safe and sound manner. The release ends. The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Dr. Aissatou Njie Seydi, has officially opened the 11th edition of the Roots Homecoming Festival at a grand ceremony held at the Arch 22 in Banjul. The 8-day festival provided an opportunity for diaspora Africans to reconnect with their roots and build partnerships with their African brethren. Momodu Jallo reports.
Roots Homecoming Festival opened last night at a colorful ceremony at the I-22 in Banjul. The festival was first conceived in 1996 by the government of the Gambia and has since then sought to bring together Africans and their brethren in the diaspora to reflect on the horrendous consequences of the slave trade on the African continent and foster a new spirit of shared identity and cultural values. The celebration of this great day for Africa continues to be a unifying platform for Gambia and all people of African descent. Speaking at the gathering, the chairman of the organizing committee in his welcoming statement disclosed that it's now a turning wheel for Africans as the Gambia has seen an influx of Africans and Americans to the tiny village of Jufure to come back to their roots and celebrate what is now known as the International Roots Festival. The Minister of Tourism and Culture, Fatumas Job Jai, highlighted that the festival provides the opportunity to interact, exchange ideas and build networks that will not only generate unity and understanding, but affords the opportunity for Africans to reflect upon the common challenges and aspirations as a people.
The International Roots Homecoming Festival continues to be a unifying platform for the Gambia and all people of African descent. The Gambia, under the wise and progressive and dynamic leadership of our dear leader, His Excellency the President of the Republic, Chair Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh, had long realized that we need to come together as Africans to develop the African continent and redeem the peoples of Africa from the scourge of war, from hunger, from disease, and from want.
Speaking on behalf of Africans, Dr. Julius Garvey, son of Marcus Messiah Garvey, reflected on his father's attempts a century ago to unite Africans and bring them back to the land of their origins. This festival, he said, provides the opportunity for those Africans who can to make that journey to the motherland.
I'm happy that you have organized this festival, which is a homecoming festival, and it is not simply about tourism, but it's about culture, it's about unity, it's about history, and it's about the spirit of Africa, because the spirit of Africa is what could not be broken in the Middle Passage.
For a man who is globally acknowledged for his resistance through music, Mutabaruka, a Jamaican musician, called for African unity.
This is the first time I have been to Gambia, and from the time of reading about Kunta Kinte, we have always wanted to come to Gambia. But we say in Jamaica, nothing happened before the time. We are very appreciative of the welcome that we get here.
Declaring the festival officially open on behalf of the Gambian leader, the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajay Dr. Aissatou Njie Saidi, described the Gambia as a heaven of peace and tolerance that would always champion the much-awaited African Renaissance. Speaking on the theme of the festival, African culture, its challenges and prospects in the 21st century, Dr. Njie said one of the threats to Africa's culture, both from within and without, urging Africans to critically reflect on the challenges ahead.
We owe it to our future generations to preserve those cultural values and norms that are pivotal, and indeed a pivotal part of our heritage, on which hinges our identity as a people, and provides us with the strength, courage, as well as wisdom to continue to deal with neo-colonial nuances and hegemony that manifests itself in diverse ways and threaten our value systems as we march forward for political and economic emancipation.
Express the hope that this festival will spur Africans to rise up to their responsibilities and make a positive contribution to Africa's development. Mamadou Diallo, Grts.
With the European Union general elections scheduled to take place later this month, the atmosphere in Europe in terms of political mudslinging and conjecture is feverish as voters contemplate the future of Europe. Civil servants and prominent individuals from across the political divide in the country took time to relax and exchange light-hearted moments as part of celebrations marking Europe's Day. Samuel Ba reports.
Celebrants of EU Day, drawn from across all walks of life, gather to commemorate the historical declaration by Robert Schuman on the creation of an organized Europe to foster unity among Europeans. 64 years on, and the vision of the founding fathers of the EU continue to pay much dividend towards European integration and the promotion of global peace.
Today, the European Union brings together over 500 million people from 28 countries speaking 24 different languages. The EU aspires to build a Europe which respects the freedom and identity of all people, and through its External Action Service promotes core values of peace, democracy and respect for human rights in its external action with partners throughout the world.
Over the years, the EU has been a key development partner of government, changing lives in many fronts through their cooperation in political development and economic sectors. The year 2013 has been a remarkable one in the programming of the 11th EDF for the Gambia, covering agriculture and food security.
The governance program, focusing on access to justice, the media and public finance management, has started, while an additional 3 million euros have been devoted to support the fight against trafficking in human beings and illegal migration, as well as to improve the performance of state-owned enterprise in terms of delivering services to the public. The EU also continued to support the Gambian civil society through a call for proposal aiming at access to political, economic and social rights for women and children, for which 3 contracts were signed with renowned international NGOs partnering with Gambian ones.